This is the part 2 of the guide for JP. This time I cover his pokes, specials, anti-airs, and tips for his game plan. I added the game plan because I think that it's important for new players to have an idea of how to use him and desperate your opponents. To get the full potential of JP, you need to be on point with the anti-airs and neutral drive rush punishes. If you want to look at the guide part 1, I will leave the link of the video in the description and at the top right corner of this video. These are his pokes and target combo options. His main poke is the standing medium punch. It has a far reach but cannot be cancelled, so don't use it too much. His crouching medium kick also has a good reach, but again cannot be cancelled. His standing heavy punch has a decent range and can be cancelled, so you will be using this normal a lot. His standing medium kick has a decent range and can be cancelled. Just keep in mind that your hitbox is different when you are standing versus when you are crouching. And lastly, his crouching medium punch doesn't have much range and can be cancelled. His overhead is -3 on block, so you are safe, and you can make it +1 with drive rush. Also, it's +3 on hit, and you can make it +7 with drive rush. His Malice unique attack has a long reach, but is not safe if you do it too close, and can be punished with some supers. His standing heavy kick is +2 on block. This is his only normal with plus frames. Also, this is the startup of one of his target combos, standing heavy kick into heavy punch and heavy punch for overhead, or standing heavy kick into heavy kick for a low. Mostly you will only use his standing heavy kick into heavy punch, which leaves you -3 on block, so you are safe and can be cancelled, but most options are punishable, so you will have to rotate your options. If your opponent uses a character with an EX reversal, you can bait it by just stopping after the second hit, and you will be -3 on block, so you will be safe and ready to punish. His back medium punch into medium punch is his second target combo, but your opponent can do drive impact or an EX reversal after the first hit, so you need to rotate your options again. And these are the normals I recommend to use for a neutral drive rush. These are his specials and some tips for them. The light and medium punch versions of the Strybog move are punishable on block. The heavy punch version is +4 on block, and the OD version is +2. It has a decent range, so it could be used as a poke, but some characters have supers that can punish it from far. All 3 regular versions of his Triglav do the same damage and have the same 22 startup and -2 on block, but the OD versions have 20 startup and +3 on block. The distance of the OD versions will depend on the buttons used: light and medium for close, light and heavy for mid-screen, and medium and heavy for far distance. All the 3 regular versions of his departure move have the same startup and recovery. You can trigger the thorns with a quarter circle back plus heavy punch, or wait for it to do it automatically. You can also do a quarter circle back with light or medium punch for a teleport, and keep in mind that each version will spawn differently. The light version is closer to you, the medium version spawns mid-screen, and the heavy version spawns far. The OD versions will spawn 2 shadows, and the distance between both shadows works the same as the Triglav move: light and medium for close, light and heavy for mid-screen, and medium and heavy for far distance. The thorns will spawn automatically in order, so you can use your teleport before the second one is triggered. You can pick which shadow to use for the teleport: the light punch for the closest shadow and the medium punch for the farthest shadow. FYI, you cannot do his embrace move while the shadows are active. The light kick and OD versions of his turbulent move has a faster startup, so it's better to use those for zoning and the other two when you are close for mix-ups. If you do the move and hold the button, it will not release the fireball, so you can use this to bait jumps, but this doesn't apply to the OD version. His embrace move is a fireball throw, so you can use this move to confuse your opponent when zoning from close distance, but be aware that they can jump and punish you, so you will have to rotate your options here. Since this move can be used with cancelable normals, you can mix it up with the turbulent move, which will hit them if they jump. The regular versions of the Amnesia will only work against normals, but the startup is 3 frames, so don't use it on wake-up, throws, or between tight frame traps. Instead, use the OD version, which has 0 startup and also beats throws. In some scenarios, you will see that your opponent will recover earlier, but still they cannot hit or grab you, even if you are -10 or more, so just worry about the grabs because you are safe from normals or supers. Sometimes if you mash your 4 frames normal, you might be able to beat their fastest 4 frames normal, but I don't recommend this because a medium or heavy will hit you. If you are in the corner and your counter eats a normal from your opponent, don't mash. Just do a delayed throw in case they do a OD reversal or super. Blanka is one of the few characters that can escape the counter, but only if you don't do your 4 frames normal after the counter, or if he does a very plus normal such as a delayed jumping heavy. And keeping in mind that you will be doing a delayed throw to avoid getting hit by an early normal, get thrown, or super, then Blanka will have enough time to get out safe, but again you can rotate your options here as well. As you can see, if I mash my 4 frames normal right after the counter, Blanka will not be able to get out unless he does a very plus jumping normal. Dalsum is the second character that can escape the counter, and he does it better than Blanka due to the teleports. Dalsum can also go back to the offensive with a delayed teleport. If you bait his teleport, do the mid-screen OD Triglav version and it will hit Dalsum, but I couldn't make a proper video showing this. This was my best attempt recording it, but the teleport should be close to the ground, but still Dalsum should get hit if you do it earlier. This is his gameplay and tips section. It's not a good idea to repeat the turbulent move because at higher level this will be frequent. Instead, try to bait it and punish it so you can rotate your options again. You could delay your second turbulent, but this is risky. This is one of the easiest options to stop them from doing a neutral drive rush, but they could also jump and this might whiff. Your best option here is to always have a departure shadow setup, and it will help you to keep them on check or as an anti-air. If you have enough resources, you can throw an OD departure with your light and heavy punch, so it will cover a great area on the screen. Using your departure will condition the opponent to stop trying to get in like crazy, and then you can start using it as an anti-air, then follow up for a combo with good damage and apply fear to your opponent so they stop trying to rush you down. If you know the frame data, you can use his regular amnesia version between any frame trap with 4 frames, and if you use parry then 3 frames as well, but not less. Just be aware that the regular version will not counter throws. Here you see a very common pressure doing multiple 4 frames normals such as Ryu's crouching light kick and punch, and also standing light punch, so amnesia has a 3-frame startup, meaning you can get it in there. And again, if there is not a 4 frames gap then you can use the OD version, but there is a workaround. If they jump with a medium normal, the first fast normal like a crouching light punch will be considered a block string, but it seems that using parry will get you out of block string so you can do a super or his OD version of the amnesia counter. Here I am blocking the jumping medium kick with parry, and it allowed me to do super, drive impact, or his OD amnesia. If you are having problems doing his amnesia in between fast normals, you can use parries to help you buffer fast normals. You can use parries to help you buffer the move. These are his anti-air options. His anti-air options are crouching heavy kick for close distance, standing heavy kick from very far, forward heavy kick from far mid distance, and his air throw. You can use his air throw to get out of the corner, and also you could set up a heavy departure to teleport out. After the crouching heavy punch, you can cancel it into the overhead or low version of the Tourbillon, then sometimes do the embrace, but you can be punished, so don't abuse it. Get used to his forward heavy kick anti-air follow-up because you will use this a lot to do damage and make your opponent stop jumping on you. But keep in mind, if it does 2 hits, it will not connect the Strybog. If you try the departure after crouching heavy punch, the opponent might attempt to punish you, but you can do a drive rush neutral check to punish that. Once your opponent knows you do embrace, they will try jumping back or forward, so try to rotate your options or just do nothing and punish. Tourbillon will stop them from jumping, and you will have enough time to react against a drive impact. If you want to punish with your forward heavy kick, make sure to take your distance so it will connect. These are his counter and punish counter links. I already showed some of this in the part 1 of this guide, so I will just show the links for both the counter and punish counters so you are aware that is possible. These are more setups and mix-ups. The setup using the OD departure leaves you +6, but if you want to do the throw setup, you need to be +3 instead, so try to delay it. I am showing this because recently Browski discovered a new option with his back throw. It will not scale the damage as if you use a forward throw. So he came up with a reset using his super level 2 in the corner. Since the shadows pulls the opponent forward, you can jump and switch sides so you can do the back throw to do more damage. And of course the opponent might attempt to escape the throw, so you can jump to bait it. If you have enough resources, you could use his OD departure version for more options. If you think the opponent might attempt an OD reversal or super, then using the OD departure version is good because you can teleport with the medium punch and leave the closest thorn for the punish. These mid-screen setups were left behind, so I added them here, and mostly these will be useful when your opponent is in burnout. The key for these throw setups is that you need to find a way to be less than +4. In this case, this setup leaves you +3, so it's perfect. For the OD versions, you need to be at least +6, and this setup leaves you +5, so it's good. And the same concept applies here. You can bait throws or use the teleport to bait OD reversals or supers. These are mostly useful if the opponent is in burnout because they cannot parry. It's hard to block because his overhead and switches sides. If you want to throw the opponent while they parry the super, there is a gap right before the next shadow connects, and that's your window to do your grab. You will be using this setup a lot to lock down your opponent with a heavy version of a departure, then an OD Triglav mid-screen for damage and lockdown in case they get caught, or the far version just to lock them up. The way it works is that every time you knock down your opponent, you will need to place a departure far with the heavy punch version, then quickly do an OD Triglav mid-screen or far version. If they parry too much, you can teleport right after the Tourbillon connects for a throw. And these are examples of how it looks. Just make sure to always have a departure in place. If you want to keep them far, then use the far version. But if they are rushing down too much, then use the mid-screen version as a defensive barrier. JP is a very strong character and his strength is to desperate the opponents, so they are forced to jump and you can punish with your forward heavy kick anti-air combo, which does great damage. Also, he has great defensive mechanics such as his amnesia counter, which also beats throws, but you need to use it with caution because most players will try to bait it. This is another way to desperate your opponents by rotating your options. And remember to always try having a departure setup, but only do it if you are far or if you knock down your opponent to avoid getting punished. I hope this guide helped you all to know more about JP, and thanks again for supporting the channel.